Hi everyone, it's Andy from Hobby Headquarters. Well, I have an exciting build for you guys. Today we are going to be building up the final production model of TAKOM's new 16 scale 1/4 ton 4x4 MB utility truck, and that is it right here. Now, I showed you guys a while ago when I had the very first production samples, and I built that up, but I didn't put it on camera. So now I'm going to show you how everything goes together on this final production version, and it is beautiful inside. It is absolutely incredible as a model kit. Very excited to build it. Like I said, I built it once, but now I get to show you guys how cool this vehicle actually is. Now, this is actually up for pre-order on our website, andyshhq.com, and our website, andyshhq.eu. If you live in Europe, or actually the rest of the world, you can order them on those two sites right there. So, very excited to show you inside. So, let's get started. Before we start the build video, I'm showing you right now the very first test shot that came from TAKOM, and I wanted to build all that up and just primer it to show everybody what it actually looked like. What I'll do now is, before I actually start the build, I'm going to show you a couple of shots of what the sprues look like, the final sprues, as well as a quick look at the instructions, and then right after that we'll jump right into the video build. And here is a look at the final production instructions that will be included in the kit. I'm going to go through these kind of quickly, so if you want to stop on any page, just freeze your frame on your computer or TV. Okay, we're going to jump right into the build process by assembling up the chassis. And we're going to run a little bit of cement around the edge here. And then it's just a matter of, you see how this fits into the pocket that TAKOM has created. Just making sure that the two frame pieces end up the same right there. And it will line up perfectly all the way down the line. And the nice thing about this is all this plastic really doubled up like this, having the one piece inside the other, really makes some nice strong connection points. So the frame is going to be really rigid And then we just have to glue the other side on just like this. Just kind of snaps into place, but glue is obviously very helpful. And we will let that go ahead and set up right now. Now that the frame has completely dried, I've built up a few of these little sub-assemblies, some basic parts, and now we will get all of these glued together. And it is very nice because TAKOM has keyed everything, so it's really kind of hard to put it on the wrong way. Okay, if we are very careful, we can get the steering to actually work on this. So we need to make sure we've got those two pins lined up in the holes, just like that. And then I need to take the tip of a screwdriver, heat that up a little bit, and then just touch that into place, and that'll make a little cap on it so those pieces will not fall out, but they still will actually turn. Okay. Got it to work. I ended up using the tip of an X-Acto knife because the X-Acto knife heats up much quicker and works a lot easier on this. So we got both of these to turn. Now we need to get this little pin right here in that little hole, but also keep the steering rods right here in the right position. Slide it in there just like that. You see how it goes in just like that. Now I am assembling the front part of the hub, and we have to be very careful after we put that little circular piece in to keep the cement away from that, because we want that to be able to move inside. So just keeping a slight amount of cement on the top, giving that actually a slight second to dry a little bit. That way we won't get much of the cement oozing out. And then we can go ahead and put the cap on here. And that piece still should go up and down inside. Now I fitted that piece onto the axle, and you see here I only have one side on. Did not put any glue on because it fits on with pressure, and our steering will work. I have a quick little builder's tip here that could save you a lot of headaches down the road. When you put these little hubs together and the little ball joint that goes inside, you really have to make sure that the ball joint is going in the correct way. If you don't, the wheels will splay out like this. The instructions will show you this right here, this shape here. Be very, very careful. Before you glue anything, make sure it looks like this. Because if it doesn't, you're going to be pulling them apart later on. And I almost myself put one on upside down because it's not very clear when you're putting it together. It's not like it sticks out one way or another until you really keep a close eye on it. So just keep that in mind as you're building, and you will get nice straight wheels and tires on when you go to put it together. I am starting work on the engine block right now. Just glued the two halves together. And with that, we can go ahead and glue the oil pan on, just like that. And then we can glue the head on here. And I've already put two of the spark plug, I guess they'd be the boots on there. And that will get fitted right into place just like this. So I'll get those parts glued on, and I'm going to glue the rest of the little accessory pieces on. Okay, once you get the engine to this point, the instructions call out to go ahead and mount it into the frame at that point, and then the next step would be to put this pipe into place. And after building it the first time on the test shot, I found that it is much easier to go ahead and mount it in right now. And then once you go to drop it into the engine area, the frame area, you mount that in like this. It is, as you can see, wrapped inside there. It is much easier to get it into place right now than it is after you mount the engine in there. In fact, I can actually go ahead and glue this in here right now. It's at that point. And then once we have that, you also notice too that I finished sanding up and cleaning up the frame, and I primered all of that to make sure everything was looking the way I wanted it. Then we can go ahead and mount the radiator in just like that. And you can see how quickly the entire frame and engine area is all coming together. The next step in the instructions is to go ahead and assemble the wheel and tire. And we have our combat rim right here that gets mounted right inside the wheel, or excuse me, the tire. Wheel goes inside the tire, you line the two sides together, you have it right here. And then there's the little extra hubs that I was showing you earlier. There are two different ones. There's a front and a back, very easy to identify. I might not glue these together yet because I think it's going to be a little bit easier to go ahead and just paint all of that separately and then glue the tires together, and then all I have to do is paint the air on here. So you might not see them show up on the vehicle too closer to the end. Now that the sides are glued up and dried, we can go ahead and mount the fuel tank, which goes underneath the driver's seat, just like that. Then we have the driver's seat. It'll get mounted into place just like that. And a couple little holes that line it up. We have the passenger seat. Two will get slid into place just like that. Of course, I'm going to glue all this stuff in a few moments, and then finally we have to put the dash in on this step here. And the dash will fit just like this into place. Now I'm leaving off all the little accessories on the dash. There's some real small little pieces that are very easy to knock off. I know this. When I built the prototype, I knocked them off multiple times until the very last step, until you're almost completely done. So I will go ahead and get all of these parts glued into place, and then we'll be able to go and start working on the tailgate. I jumped a little bit ahead here and started attaching some of the parts that, the small little parts, accessory parts, such as this right here. This is the soft top frame. I've put it, they do give you an up version too, so I guess if you wanted to try to experiment in making your own soft top, you could do that. Also attached the rear mount for the spare tire, as well as the jerry can for the back. And as we come around here, I've added a little bit more to it, including the front headlights. Now, I didn't put the glass in yet. The glass is going to go in last. Hopefully, I can get it right through the front there so I can paint around it. But this is something I wanted to show you, is that the hood has a little hinge that you glue inside there. And when you do that, it actually works. The very first test shot I had did not have the ability to open and close it like this. You could take it off pretty easily, but this one will actually open, and if you're careful, stays open too. I mean, probably a good idea to put a little bar in there, but you get the idea. That's pretty cool idea that they put on that. Now what I'm going to do is there's just a few other accessories, little odds and ends that I need to glue on there, and then I can start painting. I did leave off all of the tools. Way easier to paint the tools off the vehicle than on. And I do need just a little bit more touch up, a little sanding here and there if there are any little marks that I need to take care of. And then once I'm finishing up with that, oh, actually I take that back. There is one other thing I do want to show you. I've assembled the windshield frame, and it locks right into place. And this is the type 2 that you'll be able to put it up or down, just like that. Falls right into place. Once again, no glass in there yet. The glass is going to come very, very last. That way I can paint everything all together. Also has the mount for the M1 Garand up inside there as well. Which, let me rotate that around so you can see it. There's the mount for the Garand. So I've got a little bit more cleanup and sanding, and then we're going to move on to painting. Here is the model mostly completed. There are a few little things like some accessories and the tools that are not on. And of course you can see that the tires are still in halves and the wheels are not attached to it yet. And that's just going to make painting a little bit easier. There are going to basically be 3 colors that we're going to use to paint this up. The first is obviously the body color, XF62 olive drab. That'll be the vast majority of the kit. We also have NATO black. I'm going to use that for the tires and parts of the engine that we're building up. And finally, we have khaki for any of the padded material, like the seats, seat cushions, the little bumpers on the side there. And those are going to be the 3 major colors that we're going to paint right now. I'm not going to show all of that going together, or actually not going to show all of that getting painted right now. It's pretty easy. We're just going to paint the entire thing olive drab, paint the tires separately, and then of course paint the engine inside there, and then we can do any detailing that we need on it. So when we come back, we're going to show you what the model looks like all painted up. And here is the vehicle mostly painted up. There are a few other little accessories we need to put on, but this will give you a general idea. I've painted the overall body, the 62, like I called out earlier. We did the wheels, also 62, and then of course the tires, XF69. And actually I'm going to open up a little bit of this. Did the engine in there too, did a little detailing on that. I'll show you more of that later once I'm done. That we also use the XF69 as well. Now the khaki color for the seats, I was just going to use regular khaki from Tamiya. Unfortunately, I was out of it, and Tamiya's been out of it for a while now. But you can mix up XF59 and XF58 about equally, you know, play around with it a little bit, and you'll get that nice khaki tannish green color right there that works really well. Also have the tools ready to go, painted those up, and putting on some of the little tool clamps because there are some photo etch straps that we need to install once the tools get into place. And right down here I have the windshield. I spent some time, masked that whole thing off, and it is ready to install as soon as we've put the, you know, the dull coat over the entire vehicle after we put the decals on. And I think I'm kind of just leaning to the big star only, not the one with the circle around it, and then just, you know, the regular markings. Plus we have to put the placards in as well as the instruments, but nothing too difficult we have to do on that. The only other thing we have to do once we get all of it painted and stuff, as you see here, there are just the hollowed out areas here, in here, and then of course on the back for the taillight. So all of the lights and reflectors on the side need to be painted first. So we will go in there and paint the silver base, and then for the back here at least, a little bit of clear red over that. Once that fully dries, we'll go ahead and install all of these. Same thing with the headlights up front. We will paint the inside of the headlight in there a silver color, let that fully dry, and then I can put the, see right here, here they are, they're the headlight lenses that we'll put those in there as well. So now it is time to go ahead and put the decals on. I did put one coat of Tamiya's TS80 flat coat over the entire vehicle just to seal in our paint job, and now I can go ahead and put the decals on. Here is the completed model. So we have all the paint on there, all of the decals. It has been completely clear coated, and then of course all of the accessories have been put in place, like the glass, tools, all that. And I'll kind of point those out as we go around. First of all, you obviously see the tools. I've painted up and weathered those, and also installed the 2 photo etch straps that are included with the kit. We have those right there. Here we have the reflectors. There are 4 of them on the vehicle, 2 on the back and 1 on each side, and that was just done up, like I said earlier, with a silver background, painting inside there, painting the reflector itself, the glass part, with a clear red on the back, and then just gluing them into place with some clear part cement. I think those really look well on there. And then of course we've got all the decals in place, the stars, the tire pressure over the wheels. You might notice that the decals look different than the ones that I was just installing a little while ago, and that is because I had a major issue with some clear coat that wanted to react with the decals. So unfortunately I had to start over and redo the hood with some new decals, but not a big deal. We're gonna turn the turntable on now for you so you can see a 360 view. I've installed the headlight lenses, as you can see there. We've got the decals all the way around on there, more reflectors. And looking at it in person, I really think TAKOM just knocked it out of the park with this beauty. It's just really nice looking kit. You see all the placards inside the driver's area as well as the dials, and just a wonderful looking kit. Now, I did not do any weathering to speak of on this. I do plan on doing some more weathering on it because this is going into a diorama with the Sherman when it comes out. And also, you also notice too, I didn't put the 50 cal in there. And that is because I'm not 100% sure I want it in my diorama with the 50 cal. So the 50 cal is completely an option. You don't have to put it in. Obviously, there were thousands and thousands of these in World War II that didn't have the 50 cal. So I still have the option to. It's sitting over in the box over there. Still might put it in there. And then, of course, the figure. You saw in the very beginning of this video on the test shot, the figure and the 50 cal didn't change at all. They're exactly the same as the final production model. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the hood and let you take a look inside that. Okay, we move the camera. Carefully, we're going to just take this whole thing off, hinges and all there. It can flip up if you desire, but it's just easier for you to go in there and see everything is just by taking the hood off completely. And this is just the way it comes with the kit. There are areas on here that are already pre-drilled that if you want to do all the wiring on it, you can do that. I just wanted to build it. I'm not going to have the hood open for my diorama purposes, but I did want to build the engine and show you guys how beautiful it is. And it is a nice one. And since we've got the camera up above, just give you a little bit up top side view of the vehicle as well. So this is now 100% complete. It is actually being boxed up and loaded up and being on its way to us here in the United States. It is on a pre-order price right now of only $49.99, but that price is about to go away very, very soon. I believe it's July 23rd is the final day for that pre-order price. So if you're interested in getting one, I would definitely recommend going on our website, andyshhq.com, and taking advantage of that really good special price on it there. So I want to take this opportunity to thank you as always for watching, and please stay tuned because I have many more videos coming.